today's feature, I have here the 2022 Mazda CX-5 2.5 all-wheel drive. So actually, this is the top of the line model of the Mazda CX-5, the gasoline variants. So there's still diesel models available, but let's focus on this gasoline top of the line variant. And as you can see here, typical Mazda design is they still follow the Kodo design language. And as you can see here in front of the grill, you have a lot of sharp cuts. This is actually so sexy to look at up close. I mean, the attention to detail done with this Mazda CX-5 is absolutely gorgeous. I mean, yes, there's not much chrome here, but there's only the chrome bit below here in the grill. It works perfectly, and the grill is also blacked out. And ground clearance, as you can see, is 195 millimeters, pretty decent for a compact SUV. So here in front, you have parking sensors and LED lights here. And what I can say about it, it's your typical Mazda. They are all absolutely gorgeous. So this is gonna be my first time also driving a Mazda CX-5. So I would like to thank Sir Ralph and Mazda Makati for allowing me to review and later on test drive this Mazda CX-5 all-wheel drive. More highlights on the exterior. The window quick is separated by a blacked out part and a chrome bit. And then on the door, it's one whole piece, so in case you wanna go off-road and open the door, your pants won't get dirty. Here in the interior of the Mazda CX-5, very little changes here from when it debuted a few years ago, but inside here in the 2022 model, I can say, still pretty stunning. Although one funny thing I still noticed, there's a DVD player on top of the air conditioning vents. No idea why, but if you wanna go down memory lane, yeah, this will do. And also, first impressions here in the interior, you're pretty much your typical Mazda. Everything is plush. Leather seats here. This is not Napa leather, by the way. You only can get that in the all-wheel drive Signature diesel model. But this being the top of the line gasoline variant, yes, these are still pretty plush seats. It's a bit firm, but it's still soft enough and comfortable enough to sit in here. And here in the dashboard, beautiful materials here and there. Chrome finishes here on the air conditioning vents, and there's even like real wood-ish. I don't know. I think this is real wood. Few plastics here and there. Not much, to be honest. Even the dashboards, there's enough squish to it. Also, being the top of the line gasoline variant, you have a panoramic sunroof here, only for the front seats, but it's a compact SUV. It's fine. You have two lights up here and the controls for the panoramic sunroof, as I said here. There's a glasses holder, visor with vanity mirror here. Oh, they don't extend, but the headlining material here is absolutely spot on. And going back here in the dashboard, you have your start-stop button here, and below the air conditioning vents, you have physical buttons for your climate control. And my phone, as you can see here, just fits here in the cubby space. I think you can stack up 4 of my phones on top of each other, and there's a hidden 12-volt socket underneath there. And then here in the dashboard, as you can see, sturdy build quality. This is what I like about Mazdas. Their quality is always on point. And then here in the gear lever, you have gloss black here. Yeah, it's fine, and chrome finishes around it. But it's your typical Mazda. You have also controls here for the infotainment system. I'll demo that in a bit. Yan, as you can see, 2 cup holders here with plastic grips here. They fit my water jug just perfectly. Central glove box. There's more toys here. Even an extra space here. I keep forgetting what you call this. Anyway, the glove box is pretty deep enough. It can fit my phones, and there are 2 USB ports and then 1 USB port. And there's even an SD card here. It's a bit awkwardly positioned, but at least there is. And then steering wheel is hard, it's girthy, but it's less shiny than the other Mazdas I tried. Like the CX-9 I drove yesterday. Yeah, it's less shiny. And then door materials, yeah, you have leather here and there. Plastics only below. You have a 10-speaker Bose setup in here. I really wish I can try the sound system, but knowing this is Bose, you guarantee they are very, very good. You have a cubby space on each side. The water jug fits perfectly on each side of the doors. And yeah, that's pretty much it here in front. There are few blank buttons here only. Just like 2 of them. At least there are more functioning buttons than usual. Glove box, pretty decent, I must say. Before I go to the back seats, I will demo the infotainment. I accidentally hit that. And this is the digital display of the Mazda CX-5. I'll just turn it off to just the demo. There's a lot of animations going on, both in the infotainment system and one there in the middle. So this one, On each side are analog for your tachometer, and then for your fuel meter, and then engine temperature. The one in the middle is completely digital. And there you have your fuel reading there on the left side. And then on the right side, you have your fuel range. And then here in the infotainment system, like the CX-5, it's pretty responsive. Pretty much like the CX-9 I've tried yesterday. As you can see, there's Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. Down in the CX-9 GT I drove, this did not pop out at all. Responsive enough. You can play a bit more since you have Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, as I said. Oh, okay. This is what I did not notice in the CX-9 GT. My apologies. These are for your seatbelt warning. So I thought in the CX-9 GT, was a blank space for your DVD, but the DVD is actually up here. So now I know what it is. Also, using the infotainment a bit more, I noticed there's just a slight delay only, but it's still responsive enough, gets the job done, to say the least. It's not that laggy. Okay, for a Mazda, that sounds pretty solid, the door thuds. I mean, they all sound great in general, but there is one Mazda that's coming soon in my channel that has the best door thud for a very good reason, so stay tuned for that. So here in the second row of the Mazda CX-5, despite being a compact SUV, I mean, that's not my, this is already my driving position. I was playing with it earlier. As you can see, feet room, leg room, and then headroom. I have that much headroom. Really spacious for a compact SUV. I think on par with the best of the best, I assume. I forgot the competitors, but for a compact SUV, this is one of the most spacious. And the same materials here in the seats. Pretty comfortable to say the least. For the front seats also, you have two map pockets on each side, and then here in the center you have two air conditioning vents. That's actually nice that they're also wrapped in this chrome finish. And then if I sit here in the middle, transmission tunnel is about that big. And yeah, it may be in the way that much, but you can put your feet up at least. And this is what's nice with the CX-5. Yes, sitting here in the middle is a bit hard because of the central armrest, but the seat is not that elevated. So I have the same amount of headroom despite being here in the middle. And also here in the second row, you have two isofix anchor points on each side, and then you have the central armrest. There's a lot of gimmicks. You have two cup holders with flimsy grips. Despite having flimsy grips, they hold my water jug just perfectly. There's also one cubby space here, enough for a phone or a tablet, so you can just watch like that, I assume. And then you have another storage here for keeping your phones, and there are two USB ports inside. That's actually a very, very handy feature with this Mazda CX-5. So with that, also another feature, I will also demo this in the boot, but you can also fold down the middle seat only. So in case you want to carry poles, whatever long item, you can just stack them in here in the middle. And speaking of this, I'll show you the boot. This is the boot of the Mazda CX-5, and with the seats up, you have 471 liters of space. So very, very spacious for a compact SUV. And as you can see, you can fit a lot of stuff here. And you have a space saver dollar type underneath. You have two cubby spaces on each side. Well, they're kind of hidden. And there's one 12-volt socket on the right. And to fold the seats down is actually pretty easy. So on the left side, if you pull this long latch, it will fold down both seats. For the small one, it will only fold the center. But it's a bit, there you go. And then on the right side, it folds down the right side only, and sits on the right. So with all the seats down now, you have approximately 800 liters of space. So the floor is pretty much flat. So carrying a lot of stuff with this Mazda CX-5, this is gonna be one of the most practical cars in its class, probably. I know there are some compact SUVs that have better capacity, but this Mazda CX-5, knowing it has a flat floor, this is gonna be the perfect SUV for you in terms of practicality. But this Mazda CX-5 has another trick up its sleeve. So speaking of, I'll show you the engine. So this is the engine of the Mazda CX-5 2.5 liter all-wheel drive. It's a 2.5 liter naturally aspirated 4-cylinder engine that produces 190 horsepower and 252 Newton meters of torque. Pretty much the same as like in the Mazda CX-9. And this engine in a compact SUV, I cannot wait to drive this. I am expecting this to be a very, very peppy drive. And what I know from most reviews that I watched about the CX-5, they say it's one of the best in class and one of the most fun compact SUVs ever. So with that, let's go for a drive. So driving the 2022 Mazda CX-5 2.5 all-wheel drive. Okay, first impressions immediately. Like the CX-9, for some reason, the steering is smaller than usual because I got so used to the Mazda3 steering wheel that it's because it's so wide. And yeah, this will be just a quick test drive of this 2022 model, but thank you. First impressions immediately, the steering is surprisingly light. Like there's little weight to it, but maybe if you put in a sport mode. Okay, in sport mode will just add little bit of weight. But yes, with this all-wheel drive system, yeah, there is more weight than usual comparable to the front-wheel drive model. But for the front-wheel drive model, I don't know how that drives because I've never ever driven a CX-5 ever in my life. But first impressions, yes, handling, as I said earlier, there's nice weight to it. Also, I forgot to tell you, this is mated to a 6-speed automatic transmission like most of the Mazdas I've driven. And yep, it's responsive enough. It's not too sluggish even though I'm just in drive. I mean, look, it just kicks down. And NVH, surprisingly good for a compact SUV. And I can tell immediately why these were so sought of after, especially the diesel model. But for this gasoline variant, I can say, yeah, pretty peppy. And whoa, okay, kickdown's excellent. And let's start flooring it. Sport mode. Oh, okay, that picks up really well. Okay, get to high speeds really quickly since you have almost the same power with the CX-9. Wow. And also, brakes are pretty strong. There's enough travel in it. It's progressive. Not too much of a high bite, but brakes are strong in general. And yeah, with this 2.5 liter gasoline engine, it's pretty peppy. I cannot wait if ever there'll be a test drive of the diesel variant. They're kind of rare nowadays. I cannot tell between the differences from the outside only with the diesel and the gasoline powered engine. But this gasoline powered engine, pretty amazing, I must say. Mazdas in general have good driving dynamics. Kudos to them for making this. Even though this is a compact SUV, it's pretty still fun to drive. Okay, this is really fun. So in sport mode. Oh. Okay. I'm in manual mode, but it's still automatic upshifted. Yeah, the engine will scream a lot, but wow, that's pretty fast. And brakes, super strong. I love it. What else can I say about this Mazda CX-5? The handling is super sharp, top notch, no pitching. Yeah, drives like a sedan. To be honest, drives almost like near Mazda 3 like, I can say that. It's fun to drive. I see, as I said earlier, why these were so sought of after. And now if you have a chance to buy one, especially the diesel, because I think they're running out already, please do buy any of the CX-5 lineup. I highly recommend this car. Yeah, for 1.9 million pesos for this all-wheel drive model, it might be a bit steep, but everything is perfect. And with my driving only, I've been averaging 8.1 kilometers per liter. With the same engine with the CX-9, by the way. And this is the lighter car. I understand why it's so economical despite being a gasoline engine. So yeah, this was just a quick test drive of the 2022 Mazda CX-5 all-wheel drive. So I would like to thank Mazda Makati, Sir Ralph, for allowing me to review this Mazda CX-5. So hope you guys like and subscribe. And I will see you with more Mazda reviews. There's probably one more coming up. This will end the Mazda Makati trilogy. Bye-bye.